talking to me?
The first one we got is Assassin's Creed Odyssey finally gets a 60 FPS update.
Okay, I heard that one.
So, as I said before, this Sailing in the High Seas Across the Greek Isles is one of my favorite AC games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my second favorite. I really, really like it. I rave about it all the time. So if you can find a deal on this, now's the time to jump in. I'm even a little jealous of you because you get to play it in 60 FPS and I didn't.
But it's still long as shit. Like
it's a long game. It's a long game.
Valhalla,
it feels way better than Valhalla though, in the sense of like the gear collection and stuff. Like you really enjoy everything you're doing. Like whenever you go and do an assassination on a hit, one of the cult members, you get a piece of gear, legendary gear.
Yeah.
So you're really like having fun hunting them all down. You're really wanting to find the clues because you get legendary gear every time. Valhalla doesn't have that. When you can go do the animal hunts. In Valhalla, you don't get like anything for it. Yeah. In this game, you get a legendary piece of gear. So you're collecting the sets too, and these are like sets, so legendary sets. They're all unique and different. Mm-hmm. And so I had a blast, man. Like I think the formula is so much better in Odyssey versus Valhalla.
Yeah.
I really like Valhalla, the world, the exploration, the combat. There's lots of things I like about Valhalla. The lack of reward, though, for gear, because once you have a set you like, you just keep upgrading it. I get that. I get the rationale behind that because you want players to feel like their gear comes with them. Yeah. You're not replacing it. I get that feeling. But it sucks a lot of the fun out of the gear chase. And that's one of the funnest things that I enjoyed about the previous two installments.
Yeah, the majority of your loot is just resources.
It's just resources, that's not fun, right?
I mean, you have like those special little icons that are on the map that tell you like, oh, there's some assassin gear or something like that. There's like an armor piece here or whatever. But yeah, when you're raiding a village or something like that, you're only getting resources, for the most part. You might be lucky to get an item every now and
You're not getting anything that's new and fun and exciting. Yeah. And so that's why I think Odyssey is just much better than Valhalla. So while they're both massive, like you said, epics, Valhalla just does it better, right? So Valhalla is super sweet. And I see that on sale all the time.
Or Odyssey?
Sorry, Odyssey. I see that on sale all the time for like $10, $14. Like really cheap, man. You can get Odyssey like really cheap, Yeah. And it's a free 60 upgrade. So get that game. Among Us is going to be launching their first merchandise line exclusively through GameStop. So if you're looking,
talking about clothes?
We're talking about like their own like dolls, plush dolls, like physical things.
There's so many other people that have created those dolls for them.
Yeah, I know, but this is like from them now, and you can get it at GameStop if you want it. Official merch, yeah.
You want that official tag?
You want that official tag.
Or you take your ass to Etsy, and you can get a whole lot of shit looking like Among Us.
I don't even know if y'all are still playing this game, but
it's been a while since I've played Among Us.
They got some GameStop exclusive stuff now.
That's cool.
The PS4 exclusive WiLD, which was revealed back in 2014 as an open-world animal possession survival game, funded by Sony as a second-party studio release, hasn't been seen in over 6 years. And over this last week, it has officially been canceled. I remember seeing this game revealed and thinking it was kind of interesting. It was kind of cool possessing the eagle or hawk or whatever it is and looking over the land, collecting resources. It looked like it was a pretty decently graphically intensive game. But there's nothing so great here about this game that I could care if it's being canceled or not. So this news doesn't make me sad in any way. Do you remember that game, WiLD?
Nah.
You don't remember it? Yeah. So if you were looking forward to that game, I'm sorry. It has been officially canceled. The next piece of quick shot news is Gearbox Entertainment has announced they have opened a new studio based in Montreal. This is via PlayStation Lifestyle.
Gearbox, huh?
Gearbox veterans Sebastian and Pierre-Andre will lead the new studio, which will be made up of 250 staff members.
Okay.
Casey and Derry previously worked together at Gearbox Quebec.
We don't call that indie, though, right?
That, I think, is just barely outside of indie, but it's close, dude.
I mean, because it's Gearbox.
Because it's Gearbox. It's close.
Yeah.
My first thought when I saw this news is, really? I mean, is Gearbox, like, that big? They have, like, one game, I think. Borderlands. Like the other games weren't that great. Tribes of Midgard wasn't that great. It's okay. It's good. It's not great though. Like
Gearbox had what's the one game that you bought? The PS5 release. Wasn't that Gearbox?
Tribes of Midgard.
No. The one that came out when the console Godfall.
Yes.
Wasn't that Gearbox?
That was Gearbox.
Yeah.
Not good. I don't know, man. Like they think they're big. They're a big deal, man. Open a second whole studio.
Or man's just wanted to leave and do his own shit
Maybe.
instead of getting stuck under that. And Gearbox was like, you know what?
Let's just start a new
We
studio.
can go,
yeah.
but if you try to leave this company, you got this this non-compete that you got to deal with, or you could just branch off and do your own shit.
250 is a big staff, dude. Like it's
solid staff.
It's
yeah,
probably
for sure.
like right in the limbo between AAA and indie, AA. But that's a lot, and like
I think
I'm
what's
wondering,
gonna
does
matter is how much
Borderlands
money they got
fund all
behind
that? I mean, that's crazy to
it.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I gotta find
guess.
out how much money is going behind it.
Right, me
Because that's
too.
really gonna tell you what's indie and what's not.
Right, money
They got a
and
lot of money
staff,
backing
right?
behind it.
That's really the main difference. Is like how much money and staff does a studio have that make them blockbuster hits?
Yeah, but I feel like even if you had a small staff and you just outsourced for certain things, you could still probably get it done if you had the money for it.
Well, yeah,
But
it has to be considered blockbuster level selling game
right.
for it to be AAA, and that usually is money.
Yeah.
So money is the main, from what I can understand, money is the main thing we use to determine if a game's AAA or not.
Cream.
Cream, yeah, that's the main thing. So if you're a Gearbox fan, you should be excited about this. I just think that it's not necessary. I don't think they've produced enough great games to warrant another studio.
I don't know, man. I think that Borderlands badge is like an all access pass. Like
That's a big game. I
them,
agree,
you know what I
but
mean? But are they big enough that they
That's
can
what I'm
just
saying.
have like another
Right.
branch
Right.
of their shit? I don't think so.
them trying to turn into Bethesda or something, it's like, I don't know.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah,
for that.
I know. But I'm just saying, it seems like they're trying to branch out here and get a
Yeah.
whole another studio.
Right.
That's a big studio for your second studio.
Yeah.
And then the last bit of news I have here is there's a video floating around the internet right now by a YouTube channel named Coding Secrets, which is making the claim that Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is not something that could only be done on a PS5. He goes into detail about how he was able to do something similar on a PS3. When Rift came out, we had commented on how we felt the whole Rift thing didn't seem hard to do on a last-gen console. You can make false rooms. When he was jumping through rifts, we were like, that could just be a cutscene, to be honest, because it's so scripted
Right.
that it doesn't really matter. So this video, in a lot of ways, just kind of proves what we were saying earlier. Check it out. Look up Coding Secrets and watch what he has to say about this whole debacle. And it's interesting because people are looking at it and wondering if Insomniac or Sony lied, because in their trailer they said can only be done on a PS5.
Right.
And this guy's basically proving them wrong. And so it's making the rounds. So do you think Sony was lying? Were they fudging the truth? Were they just in what capacity do they mean? Do they mean graphically and this together? It can only be done on the PS5. What do you think?
Well, I know before when we had talked about Ratchet and Clank and we were talking about how good it was, I think I brought up the fact that, it did seem like some of these areas were kind of on rails when they shouldn't have been.
Right.
It seemed like if the portal is open, and this is a game that
Give me
you're
a
truly
choice,
saying that
right?
each one,
There's a
that
new
each
whole
of
world.
these portals is a world, I should be able to jump into that portal, and do something. Now, granted, you're mid-boss fight or something like that, and there's a portal opens up. Maybe you don't want to cut that boss fight short, but who's to say I can't just jump through the portal and cut and end the boss fight?
Right.
I got to get back, right?
Right.
So if there's only one way out of that portal and that's back to the boss fight, maybe I'm able to mid-boss fight, dip out. They got health in that room. I go and clean up health in that portal and then come back out fully charged and ready to go again. I would like the option for that.
Right.
Going into these other worlds, you know, where there's openings, is just like another doorway or whatever.
That's how I always felt.
Now-
that could be a secret room as far as I'm concerned.
Right, but at the same time, the game is beautiful
Yes.
and it plays
Probably one of the
awesome.
best looking games I've ever seen.
And it plays awesome. So,
Yes.
you know,
very polished.
we're definitely not shitting on the game, but we're definitely saying that there could have been more to it for
Yeah.
what they were, the way they were explaining it.
I
Because
agree.
if you're telling me that this is a whole full world that I'm going through, let me jump off the back of the dragon in the middle of that montage or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me jump off, or if I'm supposed to be falling through, let me hook onto something and slide over here, and then I can keep investigating.
Maybe there's something I
this
can
area or something.
collect there, you know, right?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I totally agree.
Leave it a little bit more unscripted.
I think that was like one of our only complaints when we were reviewing the game, that we didn't feel like it was that special. It was a little more gimmicky than like unique, right? Like I felt like this could have been done on another system, in my opinion, with some tricks. It would take some tricks. The PS5 made it easier. I admit that. I'm sure the PS5 made this way easier to do.
Probably with load
Because
times
you
or something.
right, it made it way easier to do this, but I just believe that there are other tricks you could have done, especially with what you gave us. Had it been like you're saying, which we didn't really know. I think we didn't really know until we got our hands on the game how the rift thing would play out.
Right.
And when we found out that it's more just like a cutscene, yeah, you can move a little bit, but then you jump to the next cutscene. It's like, really, you could have just made this, to be honest, you could have just made this an actual cutscene and just made it a video.
True.
And it wouldn't have mattered much. We were really hoping and praying, right? Like, how dope would it be if I could move between worlds seamlessly and explore them seamlessly without, like, cutscenes? And we didn't get that. And so it did feel a little bit like we weren't quite sold the bag of goods that we were told we were going to get. But at the same time, I loved the game so much, because I raved about it,
Right.
that I don't care,
It's like
because
it's
it was,
okay.
because
Yeah.
it's like, whatever, they gave me a great game. I can't complain.
Right.
And so that's where I'm at on it. But it's an interesting video to check out at the very least. Coding Secrets.
Okay.
And that's the quick shots.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so since that's the end of the quick shots, let's go ahead and start.
I love you, me.